Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilshi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be taking you through the top stories of the day. Let's start with the headlines. Campaigning for fifth phase of polls in Uttar Pradesh ends, voting for the 51 assembly seats to be held on Monday. PM holds first rally in poll-bound Manipur, urges voters to bring BJP to power, lashes out at the Congress for lack of development in the northeast state. White House bars certain news outlets from attending the briefing, tells reporters that Trump administration will push back on inaccurate stories that come from the media. And India loses the Pune test in 3 days by a humiliating 333 runs. Unheralded left-arm spinner Steve O'Keefe grabs sensational match haul of 12 wickets. Let's start with the latest from the ongoing assembly elections in Verdict 2017. Now, campaigning for the fifth phase of Uttar Pradesh assembly elections ended on Saturday. 51 seats spread across 11 districts will be voting on the 27th of February. The districts include Rahul Gandhi's parliamentary constituency, Amethi. The other districts are Balrampur, Gonda, Faizabad, Ambedkar Nagar, Bahraich, Shravasti, Siddharth Nagar, Basti, Sant Kabir Nagar and Sultanpur. Following the death of the SP candidate, the Election Commission postponed the election in Alapur constituency, which will now be held on the 9th of March. The Samajwadi Party had won 37 seats out of the 52 in the 2012 assembly polls, while BJP and Congress won 5 seats each. BSP had won 3, while the Peace Party won 2 tickets. Counting of votes will take place on the 11th of March. Now, on the last day of campaigning for the fifth phase, leaders from all major parties held rallies to woo the voters across UP. Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav claimed on Saturday that the BSP can enter into an understanding with the BJP any time to stop the Samajwadi Party Congress alliance. Addressing an election rally in Siddharth Nagar, Akhilesh also accused the BJP of copying the manifesto of the Samajwadi Party, including the poll promises like free laptops to students. Meanwhile, Akhilesh's alliance partner and Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi took a jibe at the Prime Minister, saying that Modi should focus on Kaam Ki Baat rather than Man Ki Baat. Addressing a crowd in Sultanpur district, Rahul further blamed the Prime Minister for allegedly making false promises to the people of the country. The Gandhi scion also addressed several rallies in Bahraich and Gonda districts. Now, while addressing people in Ambedkar Nagar, BJP President Amit Shah said that the UP election was about changing the fate of the state, which has been caught in a tug-of-war between Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav. He also attacked the SP Congress alliance, alleging that it was a tie-up of corrupt families. Now, campaigning for the 51 assembly seats that go to polls in the fifth phase ended on Saturday, like we told you, and 10 of these seats actually fall in Faizabad and Ambedkar Nagar district. In 2012, the Samajwadi Party had won 9 of these 10 seats, and this time they are fighting the polls in alliance with the Congress, but they have strong opponents in the BJP and the BSP. Our correspondent Shyam Sundar filed this report.
Mayawati's Bahujan Samaj Party has nominated Muslim candidates in Faizabad's Ayodhya and Rudauli seats. In the last elections, BJP had won Rudauli and lost Ayodhya to Samajwadi Party by just over 5,000 votes. This time, BJP is confident that permutations in these 2 seats are in its favour.
बीएसपी को
देंगे
जी।
अच्छा, लेकिन समाजवादी पार्टी के ऊपर तो ये आरोप लग रहा है कि वो उन्होंने जो भी किया मुसलमानों के लिए किया, तो आप बहुजन समाज पार्टी को क्यों वोट दे रहे हैं? कोई खास बात?
बहुजन समाज पार्टी का प्रशासन मुझे पसंद आया, इस मारे
दे रहे हैं या इसलिए कि मुसलमान उम्मीदवार है?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है, प्रशासन की वजह से हम दे रहे हैं उसको। लॉ एंड ऑर्डर उसके शासन में है।
However, a large part of the Muslim electorate believes that giving their vote to the BSP will only benefit the BJP.
माहौल पूरा सपा की तरफ मुड़ गया है अखिलेश जी के आने से। अखिलेश जी के नहीं आने से तब तक बीजेपी और सपा की लड़ाई थी। अखिलेश जी के आने से एक तरफा लड़ाई हो गई है, सपा जीत जाएगी। वो सब चाल है और बाकी मुस्लिम लोग जानते हैं कि अगर हम अपना वोट हाथी में देंगे तो बीजेपी को देने के बराबर होगा। इसी मारे सारे मुस्लिम जान गए हैं और सारे सब साइकिल में सब मतदान में हैं।
But there is also a large chunk of voters that is keeping quiet about its choices and could turn the tide in anybody's favor.
तो किसको वोट देंगी?
अब हम किसका बताइए? हम किसका बताइए?
फिर भी घर में बात तो हुई होगी ना?
हमसे क्यों कुछ बतिया नहीं करते? हमसे क्यों बात नहीं करते यहाँ?
मंजू देवी, आप किसको वोट देंगी? सब किसको दे रही हैं?
सब दे मैं कौन पता क्या के दिए?
क्या इस बार लोग वोट देंगे अखिलेश सरकार को?
काहे ना दीजिए?
अच्छा, तो नहीं, लोग कह रहे हैं कि मोदी जी जो है वो ज्यादा अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, उनको
अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, क्यों गलत थोड़े करे अपने जगह में।
हाँ, लेकिन यहाँ पे अखिलेश ने अच्छा काम किया।
With campaigning for this phase coming to an end, candidates are now busy preparing for voting day, even as the voter gets 2 days to make a decision. Shyam Sundar's report from Faizabad for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, with polls in Manipur just a week away, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed his first public rally in the state's capital, Imphal, on Saturday. Addressing the crowd, Modi said that the BJP's goal was development of the state and welfare of its people. The election is expected to be a high-voltage contest between the ruling Congress, which has ruled the state for 15 years, and the BJP.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised to develop Manipur in 15 months if his party is voted to power in the state. Addressing his first rally in Imphal, he also lashed out at the Congress for the lack of development in Manipur. Modi also held Congress responsible for ruining the state completely and added that such a party had no right to govern Manipur.
जहां कांग्रेस बैठी है, वो एक भी राज्य विकास नहीं कर रहा है। आए दिन भ्रष्टाचार की खबरें आती है, यही काम उन्होंने किया है। भाइयों बहनों, आप जानते हैं कि भली भांति इन लोगों ने भ्रष्टाचार के जो खेल खेले हैं, उन बातों को हम कभी भी भूल नहीं सकते हैं।
The PM also promised to find a solution to economic blockades that plague the state.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मणिपुर में सरकार बनेगी और मणिपुर के हाथ में सरकार आते ही कोई भी ब्लॉकेज नहीं रहने देंगे, मैं आपको वादा करता हूं। और हम दिखा देंगे कि सरकार कैसे चलती है।
Just a day before the rally, the police on Friday recovered a Chinese-made hand grenade and a bomb from the 2 separate places in Manipur, including from outside a BJP candidate's house. Polls for the 60-member Legislative Assembly of the northeastern state will be held in 2 phases on March 4th and March 8th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
With a quick break here, we'll be back with more stories in a bit. Stay with us.
Taking its name from the abundance of simul or red silk cotton trees that bloom vividly here, the Simlipal National Park is home to 3 of India's biggest animal species: tiger, Asiatic elephant and gaur. Spread over a sprawling area of 2,750 square kilometers, set on a wide expanse of sal forest, this park is nestled in the very center of Mayurbhanj in Odisha. It is one of the most breathtaking nature reserves in India, with forests, grassy meadows and some beautiful waterfalls like Joranda and Badehipani. It is also home to an astounding 1,078 species of plants, including 94 species of orchids.
Interdisciplinary science in the future will be one of our pillars on which this institute stands. Second infectious disease drug actually originated in India. UN Brahmachari's ureus tibamine against Kala-Azar. But unfortunately, he is an unsung hero because we have never promoted him to that level.
Watch Eureka with Professor Siddharth Roy, Director of Bose Institute, Kolkata, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
One of the greatest exponents of Carnatic music, MS Subbalakshmi or MS to her fans. An icon even to a younger generation brought up on fusion and rock music. MS is the first musician ever to be awarded the Bharat Ratna, also the first Indian musician to receive the Raymond Magsaysay Award. As India's cultural ambassador, she also performed at the UN General Assembly in 1966. Former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru once said of MS, "Who am I, a mere Prime Minister, before a queen of music?"
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
The Harappan period is also called the Bronze Era. Extensive collection from the era shows the Indus artists were not only well versed in techniques of metallurgy, but also innovations in dance and performing arts. This is best seen in the famous Mohenjo-daro relic, the Indus dancing girl. No less impressive is the man drawing a bullock cart depicting agriculture activities. Bronze elephants, on the other hand, show domesticated animals used for transport.
Welcome back. Let's continue getting you more national news. And who will be the mayor of Mumbai? That's the big question that has come up post the fractured mandate in the BMC elections. After reports of Congress contemplating support to the Shiv Sena, the party has made it clear that it will not do so. Senior Congress leader Gurdas Kamath said that Congress has fought against both the saffron parties all along and now they cannot align with the Shiv Sena. Meanwhile, the Shiv Sena is silent on the alliance with the BJP. Shiv Sena chief Uddhav Thackeray held a meeting with party corporators but did not reveal his plans regarding an alliance. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis also held a meeting with party corporators and said that there is no chance of an alliance with the Congress in Mumbai.
महापौर के चुनाव में डिप्टी मेयर के चुनाव में कांग्रेस पार्टी शिवसेना के साथ नहीं जा रही। जो बार-बार इस प्रकार का दुष्प्रचार किया जा रहा है वो गलत है।
जरा इंतजार करो, चुनाव की 9 तारीख है, इतनी जल्दबाजी क्या है? जो होगा तो दिखेगा, वो थोड़ा ही छुप के रहने वाला है। जो भी निर्णय होगा वो तो घोषित करेंगे, उसके लिए थोड़ा इंतजार करने की आवश्यकता है।
इसलिए उनका शिवसेना और भाजपा के हित में या महाराष्ट्र और मुंबई के हित में कोई नीति नहीं है। उनके स्वार्थ के लिए वो सरकार गिराना चाहते हैं, उसकी उनकी स्ट्रेटेजी है। उससे दोनों पार्टी बीजेपी और शिवसेना ने सावध रहना चाहिए।
And now let's get you more updates from across the country and nationwide. Former Nagaland Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang was today appointed as the finance advisor to the state government in a rank of a cabinet minister. Zeliang, appointed by the governor P.B. Acharya, will reportedly receive the pay and allowances and all other facilities admissible to a cabinet minister. A militant of the separatist outfit Kamtapur Liberation Organization was arrested in Kokrajhar district of Assam along with 2 accomplices on Saturday. Police had been on alert as the KLO had recently released a press statement ordering Hindi and Bangla speaking residents in Kamtapur, a proposed state, to leave by the 31st of March. The militant, identified as Hajendra Burman, and his accomplices were nabbed in a joint search operation launched by the local police and the army. A Delhi-bound plane of SpiceJet had to abort takeoff at the last minute as an Indigo flight could not clear the runway due to the presence of rabbits on the strip, averting a major mishap. The incident, which happened at the Ahmedabad airport, has been reported to the aviation regulator DGCA, which has initiated a probe into the matter. SpiceJet's Delhi-bound aircraft had 142 passengers on board. Indigo has not shared the number of passengers that it was carrying on the plane at the time. Now to the US, and 3 days after an Indian techie was shot dead in Kansas, his wife is seeking answers, targeting the US government and asking whether the family belongs to the country anymore or not. As investigators carry out a probe into the alleged racial hate crime, the residents of Olathe are in shock.
32-year-old engineer from Hyderabad, Srinivas Kuchibotla, had dreams of making it big in the USA. He even convinced his wife to accompany him as he took up a job at US tech company Garmin in Olathe. But today, those dreams lie shattered. 3 days after Srinivas Kuchibotla was shot dead in Kansas by an American Navy veteran, Adam Purintan, his wife is demanding answers.
I was always concerned. Are we doing the right thing of staying in the United States of America? But he always assured me that only good things happen to good people. And I need an answer. I need an answer from the government. I need an answer for everyone out there.
Kuchibotla's family back in Hyderabad is in shock. They blame US President Donald Trump for their loss.
This certainly shows that ये दिखाता है कि Trump is only the prime reason as of now.
The United Nations chief has also denounced rising cases of xenophobia and Islamophobia in the US. His spokesperson said, and I quote, "The Secretary General, if you have listened to what he said in the last few months, has spoken out forcefully against xenophobia, Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. We are seeing throughout the world an increase in these crimes, and I think he has denounced them clearly," unquote. The attack has left residents of Olathe in shock as they paid tribute to the techie by leaving flowers at the bar where he was killed.
When we peeled the layer, then we realized, oh, the gun violence was actually somebody killing people because they're different. And so that adds another layer to it, and that's when it became really hard to really make sense of this.
The attacker, who yelled "terrorist" and "get out of my country" while firing at Kuchibotla and his colleague Alok Madasani, was arrested in Missouri and has been charged with murder. A hate crime angle to the shooting is also being probed. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, in more news from the US, several major news outlets, including the New York Times, CNN and BBC, have been barred from attending an off-camera White House briefing. This is an unprecedented move that escalated tensions in the already fraught relationship between the Trump administration and the media. Hours after President Donald Trump blasted the media at the annual Conservative Political Action Conference, declaring that much of the press was the enemy of the American people, the White House yesterday invited only a select group of conservative news organizations for the extended press conference. Defending the move, administration spokeswoman Sarah Sanders, in a statement, rejected that this was the case of denying access to media. But earlier in the day, Trump continued his assault on press in a speech before the nation's largest gathering of conservative activists for using anonymous sources. Meanwhile, Mexico has warned the U.S. against imposing a unilateral tax on Mexican imports to finance a border wall, saying it could respond in kind. During a radio interview on Friday, Mexico's foreign minister said that the government could place tariffs on selected goods from the U.S. states reliant on exports to Mexico. This comes after the U.S. president vowed to start building the wall way ahead of its schedule. The president has proposed to levy a 20% tax on Mexican imports to pay for a border wall. The U.S. is expected to start work on constructing the wall by next month. Donald Trump has pledged that he will get Mexico to pay for the wall, which could cost up to $21.5 billion.
Pero como una realidad, naturalmente el gobierno mexicano tendría que responder. y probablemente la respuesta no sería ponerle un impuesto generalizado a todas las importaciones que vengan de Estados Unidos, porque eso lastimaría al consumidor mexicano. Encareceríamos la vida diaria de los mexicanos, sino que lo haríamos de manera selectiva.
And now let's get to some more international news updates in Global Buzz. At least 10 people died and over 14 injured in a hotel fire in China's Jiangxi province. Firefighters were still in search of the trapped people in the building. More than 160 firefighters were deployed to the site, 19 fire engines and several ambulances mobilized for rescue operations. At least 10 construction workers were working when the fire broke out at the second floor of the hotel in Nanchang City. At least 13 persons were being treated in a hospital. Iraqi forces on Friday entered a West Mosul neighborhood for the first time since the October launch of a massive offensive to retake the city from the Islamic State group. The push on Al-Mamun, a small neighborhood on the southwestern edge of Mosul, came after government troops retook the airport, which commands access to the city from the south, and a nearby military base. Gunmen and suicide bombers have attacked security bases in the Syrian city of Homs, killing at least 42 people. The jihadist group Tahrir al-Sham said that it carried out the attacks. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said that attackers targeted the headquarters of military security in the city and also a branch of the state security. According to reports, Army Intelligence Chief General Hassan Dabul, a close associate of President Bashar al-Assad, was among those dead. Tahrir al-Sham said that 5 of its fighters had taken part in the assault. And now let's get you some cricket news. An Australian left-arm spinner Steve O'Keefe ran through the Indian batting lineup, pushing the hosts to a humiliating 303-run defeat inside just 3 days. His match haul of 12 wickets spelled doom for the Indians in the first Test match in Pune. Australia had set a daunting target of 441 and then skittled out the hosts for a paltry 107 in 33.5 overs to take a 1-0 lead in the 4-match series. The embarrassing defeat ended India's unbeaten streak of 19 tests, with the last defeat coming against England at Kolkata in late 2012. 32-year-old O'Keefe did the star turn once again with identical figures of 6 for 35 in both innings as India failed to cross 110 in both innings. The world #1 Test team was outclassed in all departments of the game, with their misery compounded by poor shot selection and shoddy fielding. Skipper Virat Kohli, lately the star of India's matches, had a bad Test match with scores of 0 and 13 in both the innings. And that's all we have for you in the news tonight. From the entire team, a good night. We'll see you on Monday.